Welcome. Welcome to Eating an Apple and Almonds with the Spaniard. And then we're going to get to AMXkids, but not before I finish my apple and maybe my almonds. But I'm hungry. I just ran 5 miles and it's hot. It is really stinking hot. So, does anyone else have this problem? When you run, you sweat a lot. And when you sweat a lot, your shoes become like squishy squashy, like a river. No exaggeration. When I run in the summer, when I train in the summer, not just running, I sweat so much that my shoes become squishy squashy. And it's gross. It is grody. Hey, today's my son's birthday. Woo, Rocky! I'm going a little bit. The babysitter's gonna leave. And me and Rockaboy are gonna have some fun. So, I'm gonna eat my almonds, and then guess what we're diving into? Way of the warrior kid, way of the warrior kid. Now, parents, educators, coaches, it's up to you to bring this episode to your kids. Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? So, yesterday, my daughter got up early. 6:45 is early for her. And I had to come downstairs and record. I said, Gracie, going downstairs. If you need me, come down and get me. But please be quiet. I said, please be quiet. Rocky's sleeping, your mom's sleeping. Yeah, be a good girl. So, I went up, 10 minutes later after I was done recording. And she said, Dad, you talk loud. You're the loudest talker in the house. Even though I am in the basement, I do talk loud because I get animated. Because I love this stuff. Now I'm almost done eating my almonds. Is anybody there? Half the time, I don't even know if anyone's watching, but the chance that someone could be watching steps up my game. Steps up my game. All right. I'm going to save me some almonds for later. And then we're going to get going. You guys ready to rock and roll? Give me a sec here. Ba, ba, ba. All right, let's rock and roll. let's do this. 1, 2. Hello, my friends. This is the Spaniard. I hope you're all doing well. Right now, as I record, you're probably sitting in school. It's Tuesday, September 4th. Probably had a day off yesterday. I know my wife, who is a middle school teacher, she had off yesterday. She's back to school today. You are all probably back to school today as well. So I hope you had a great, nice, long weekend. I hope you got to sleep in yesterday. Or do I hope you got... I actually hope you're living the warrior kid way and you got up early yesterday because everyone else slept in. And this was your opportunity to get a little bit ahead. Your opportunity to do a little bit extra work so that you can set yourself up in a good position. We're reading Way of the Warrior Kid by Jocko Willink, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. But you know what's cool? Have you ever watched a movie on TV or seen something on TV or in the newspaper or in a magazine, and then you meet that person in real life, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually meeting this person in real life. This is so cool. Well, the author of this book, Jocko Willink, is someone whom I met a few months ago, and then I got to meet again last week. So the guy who wrote this book, the guy who created this awesome book, I got to hang out with. That's the idea here, kids. Surround yourself with the best. Read these books, listen to these podcasts, connect yourselves with people you respect and admire and want to emulate, that you serve as, that you look up to as role models, and then find a way, talk to your parents, reach out to me, reach out to whomever, and find a way to get around those people. So Way of the Warrior Kid, we're talking about Mark. Remember, Mark is he's going from a wimpy Mark to Navy SEAL tough. And his Uncle Jake is helping him, right? His Uncle Jake is staying with him for the summertime. And Mark's learning all kinds of new things. He's learning, first of all. That's a message in my show that the Spaniard stands for, that world's toughest little learners. That's what you stand for. Warrior Kids, that's what you stand for. It's learning. It's this ongoing idea of learning. And toughness. Mark's learning to be tough. You know, it's not just like he goes, rah, I'm a bully, run from me on the schoolyard. No, he's actually learning how to be tough. They're actually skills that you learn that you become. I became a professional fighter. Mark is learning jiu-jitsu. Who knows? Maybe he'll even become a black belt. But Mark goes to class one day. The first topic I want to talk about here is being the new kid. So at one point in time, Mark was the new kid. He went to class. He was a new kid. He got whooped up on, as any new kid will. When I went to wrestling I think I told you before, but I got pinned in 19 seconds in my first wrestling match. When I went to jiu-jitsu, I was getting triangle choked. Google it, look it up. It's a submission move in jiu-jitsu. I was getting triangle choked left and right. I didn't even know what I was doing. I had to learn it. So now Mark's not the new kid anymore. And a new kid came to class. And so Mark had an opportunity there. So think a minute. Think about when you were the new kid, whether it was your first day of school, whether it was your first day of sports, maybe it was your first day of camp. It's lonely, it's scary, it can be intimidating. All in all, it's just not fun. You know, when I was writing this down and making this lesson plan, I was thinking about my first days. You know, first day of college wrestling, first day at fight practice where I actually was going to fight people who were better than me and actually beat me up and it was going to hurt, right? These weren't just words. These people were actually going to beat me up. I thought about my first day in the UFC when I went to that first event down in Charlotte, North Carolina to fight. I was thinking about all my firsts. And then I started thinking back, way back, to the first wrestling camp I ever went to. And it was in the woods of Pennsylvania. And it was a wrestling camp. But here, I want to tell you this. Now, this is kind of a secret. And I please don't tell anybody. Okay, please don't tell anybody. I'm just kidding. You tell anyone you want. But here's the deal. When I was a kid, and this is a little bit, you know, this is serious. When I was a kid, up until I was 12 years old, I was a bedwetter. I wet the bed. There, I said it. I think it might be the first time I've ever said it, like on a public forum. I was a bedwetter. So I'd go away to this wrestling camp, and I had to worry. Like, what if I wet the bed? And what if everyone made fun of me? At that point, I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. I shouldn't be doing this. So that was something that I carried with me. So if you're nervous being the first kid away at camp, and you wet the bed, trust me, I know how you feel. It's not fun. But I want to talk again about this opportunity. You have the opportunity. We've all been that kid on that first day, right? We've all been there.
No one starts out on their 100th day of school or their 100th day of camp. They start out, it's their first day. But you have an opportunity. Think about this. How did you feel when you were the new kid? You feel scared, a little bit nervous, you feel intimidated, you don't know where to look, you don't know where to sit. But guess what? We're all in that same boat. So why not help that person? Why not lend a hand? Why not offer to support that person? So I'm 37 years old. I got more gray hairs. I just looked in the mirror the other day. I have more gray hairs poking out here and there. But I just went to a camp last week, right? So I'm 37 years old, a former professional fighter, very confident, but I'm also kind of not confident some days. So I went away to this camp. It was a sleepaway camp in the woods up in Maine. It was on a camp, and we stayed in cabins. And guess what? It was my first day sometimes. Even at 37 years old, at different meals, different times of the day, I would walk into that cafeteria by myself. I would go through the line by myself, and I would think to myself, where am I going to sit? I don't know anyone that's here right now. I don't know where I'm going to sit. And that's nerve-wracking, right? That's nerve-wracking. So everyone feels it, not just you. And unfortunately, it'll never go away. As long as you keep doing things in your life, it'll never go away. You get a new job, it's going to be at your new job. So I didn't know where to sit. I was the new kid. So consider that. Consider how uncomfortable you feel when you're the new kid. So the next time you see the new kid, maybe it's a new kid who moves into your town. I remember when I was in 7th grade, my friend Brian, he moved into my town. Guess what? We're really good friends today. So you never know when you actually might develop a close relationship, or consider the fact that you can just help that person feel good, because if that were you, you would want that person to help you feel good. So be nice to the new kid, lend a hand, say hello, my name's a Spaniard, what's your name? Boom, it'll go from there. Next thing I want to talk about is fuel intake. Fuel intake? What am I, a car? Kind of. In the book, Uncle Jake explains to Mark this idea of fuel intake. As a professional fighter, I understood, I thought about this idea of fuel. Like, am I a car? Well, okay, if I'm a car, what does that mean? Well, that means you want to put the best fuel. We want to put the racing fuel, right? Next time your parents go get gas, here, look out the window, watch them getting gas, and you'll notice there's either 3 or 4 pumps there. And those pumps are like normal, a little bit better than normal, and like super. In the super, that's like the highest level. So if your parents are driving a race car, they're getting the premium. They're getting the super. They're getting the highest level gasoline that there is, because it's the best kind. It's full of the best nutrients for your car, okay? Now, in the book, Uncle Jake is explaining to Mark this idea about fuel intake, and he's talking about his food, his nutrition. But let's take that a step further. So not only just food and nutrition, but let's look at your fuel intake as a human, right? As a young boy or girl in middle school, plus or minus a couple years. Your fuel intake, let's look at it in the bigger picture. Like a car, your fuel makes you go. So every day you get up, what you put into your body, the food, the nutrition, will make you go. It'll give you energy. If you eat garbage, if you eat junky food, you're going to feel like garbage. You're going to feel like junky food. But if you eat good food, healthy food, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have maybe actually it'll lead to growth in muscles, or maybe slimming down a little bit. So your fuel will actually make you look, feel, and perform better. But let's take it beyond that. So let's think outside of just nutrition. Let's think outside of the water and the nutrients we're putting into our body. And I wanna send this out there. You hear this? Those are almonds. Because before this, I was fueling my body with apple, peanut butter, and almonds, right? Real whole foods. But let's look at fuel intake as not only just food. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about people. We're talking about books. We're talking about TV and Netflix. We're talking about music. We're talking about podcasts. We're talking about positivity. We're even talking about the words that you use. So your fuel intake. So if you woke up in the morning, okay, and you wake up, let's just imagine that you wake up and you have an empty tank. And you need fuel intake. You need to take in good fuel for your body. Where's that source? Where's that fuel going to come from? Let's consider the food. What kind of food and liquids are you putting into your body? Healthy whole foods like proteins and healthy carbohydrates and nuts and apples and fruits and vegetables. The people. What kind of people are you bringing into your life? Who are you hanging out with? Who are you talking to? What about books? Are you reading books? Are you actually reading Way of the Warrior Kid? I'm going to put this out there to the first person that tags me at Charlie Spaniard on social media with a picture of them and their book, Way of the Warrior Kid. I'm going to send you a copy of my book, Driven, My Unlikely Journey from Classroom to Cage, for free. So the first person to tag me at Charlie Spaniard on social media with a picture of you and your Way of the Warrior Kid book, I will send you a copy of my book for free. Just to the first person, so get on it. Let's do it. TV and Netflix. Right? There are great documentaries on TV and on TV and on Netflix. I scour Netflix and Prime Video for documentaries that can teach me, that can help me grow as a person, that can improve my nutrition, that can help improve my mindset or my leadership. All of those things are available. Music. What kind of music? Are you listening to pump me up music that can help you feel good and give you energy? Podcasts like this one, AMXkids, The Spaniard Show. Positivity in the words that you use. This is all fuel intake, my friends. What kind of fuel are you filling your life with now? And the next thing, the last thing I want to talk about. So Mark's getting better. He's improving through hard work. You know, he's working hard. He's diligently training. He's listening to his Uncle Mark or his Uncle Jake. He's doing the things he needs to be doing. But it's not easy. It's hard. It's difficult. It's tiring. It's strenuous. You have to get up early and you have to train hard. I just ran 5 miles in the hot sun. I was sweating and my shoes were soaking wet. My shorts were soaking wet and I wanted to stop, but I just kept going. It gets so hard. But we keep going because we remember that that's the way of the warrior kid, right? That's what it means to be a tough, lifelong learner. You just keep going. So Mark's improving, getting better. And have you ever seen someone, now I'm not talking about Mark, I'm just hypothetically speaking. Have you ever seen someone that gets good at something and then they change as a person? They forget what it is that got them there. You know, they worked real hard, they struggled, they fought, they got to the top, maybe they won that state championship, and then maybe they get a little bit arrogant, maybe a little bit cocky, and they stop returning your calls, and they maybe have a little bit of an attitude with their mom or their dad or their brothers and sisters and friends and teachers because they forgot, right? Have you ever heard the expression, it went to their head? Well, they forgot what was truly important. They forgot the warrior kid principles. So at one point, Mark was improving, right? And he had a small victory. And the instructor, it said this, the instructor gave him a stern look, right? So Mark had this small win. He was victorious. He felt really good. The instructor gave him a stern look. And Mark said that look was, quote, to remind me to stay humble in defeat or victory and to show good sportsmanship and honorable behavior. To stay humble in defeat or victory and to show good sportsmanship and honorable behavior. This falls into that idea of helping people. No one likes to feel bad. No one likes to feel sad. No one likes to feel rejected. You have the power and the opportunity. You have the power and the opportunity to help people feel good by being a warrior kid, by maintaining honorable behavior, by maintaining good sportsmanship, by staying humble. You can help yourself improve and help others improve by way of maintaining those warrior kid principles. I was a professional fighter, right? So I had to get in the ring, in the cage, with some of the scariest men on the planet. And sometimes I beat those men up. But guess what? Sometimes they beat me up. There's always someone out there potentially who might be better than you, smarter than you, better looking than you, all these different variations. So Mark's instructor, Way of the Warrior Kid, Jocko Willing, probably your parents and teachers are reminding us. I am reminded by my mother. Charles Lewis Brenneman, you listen to me. That's what my mom says to me. I'm reminded, quote, to stay humble in defeat and victory and to show good sportsmanship and honorable behavior. That, my friends, culminates AMXkids 11, Way of the Warrior Kid. I highly recommend you all to go out and get this book. You can check out this book and many other books on my website. charliespaniard.com will bring you there. And remember, the first one of you, the first one I see who tags me on social media at Charlie Spaniard with a picture of them and their Way of the Warrior Kid book, I will send you a copy of my book, Driven, My Unlikely Journey from Classroom to Cage, to you for free. This has been AMX Kids 11. Parents, please make sure your kids are listening. Kids, make sure you're listening. Make sure your parents are listening. Put this in the car, on the radio, when you're on your way to the gym, or when you're taking your dog for a walk. There's so many opportunities to listen to this. Start reading, my friends. Be bold. See ya. All right, my friends. There you have it. There we have it. See you later, Art. Thanks for tuning in, man. Whew. I'm going to resume eating my almonds. But, that's it, my friends. Hope you all have a nice rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow morning for AMX 563. That's it. See you.